Baby Whisperer, a glimpse into the world of families and the work of Michael Trout. Okay, we're here with Michael Trout, and Michael is going to do a little 6-pack course in the prenatal and perinatal healing online classroom. Baby Whisperer. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about this course that you're about to teach, Michael, and what you want people to know?
Well, it represents my memory of the 25 cases that I just couldn't forget. Some of them 4 decades or more old, but I could never forget that parent, or for some reason, even that baby or that child or that dad that hid out in the barn while I was there making a home visit, or something about the case just made it stunningly memorable. And so I decided, as I was thinking about retiring, that that would be what I would do immediately upon no longer seeing patients. I would sit down and write those cases up, but not as case studies, but rather as stories. And so that's what the book, The Baby Whisperer, is about. There are 20 chapters, but they represent 25 cases, each manifesting some parenting idea or clinical principle or developmental principle that I find fascinating or important.
Mm.
One
Well,
might one might be about adoption, and there are probably, of the 25 cases, there are probably 10 of them that have to do with adoption or foster care. Some have to do with trauma. Some have to do with real small things, like how babies tend to hold on to a feeling about a certain time of year in such a way that when that time of year arrives, they have an anniversary reaction to whatever happened that time of year when they were very little. So,
well, I think that so many powerful messages have come through you to us over the years. And I know I've told you, and I've told many people, that your paper, Searching for Aunt Rosie, really changed my life. And I know one of the stories in this 6-pack is the woman from that story, how she had a memory of her infant self and how you helped her remember that and how that changed her parenting. But I think that, like, as I've been with you and watched you and listened to you over the years, you've really developed the infant coherent narrative, like this notion that we can create a narrative from our earliest time, that if we make it more conscious and coherent, that it can change how we feel in the present. Um, and so
we often need a lot of help with that. Not necessarily clinical help, I've discovered, but maybe help from our foster or adoptive or biological parents. Somebody against whom we can bounce whatever crazy, irrational ideas we have in our minds about something that we sort of remember, but not exactly when we were little. And we built a narrative about that event. Like that mom gave me away because I was a boy and I was stupid. And while that may not be so, it may be the narrative that the child held on to and manifest that all through maybe grade school. He has a teacher that gave him a C, and he thinks that's because she knows what a bad boy and a stupid boy I really am. That's why she treats me that way. So it may take a very empathic other, not necessarily a clinician, but a very empathic other to help root out what was that narrative? What was the story you told yourself? And not try to contradict it. We found that we can't contradict those narratives. We can't straighten the child out. Oh, honey, no, that's not true. We really love you. We're not going to give you away like your first 5 foster mothers did. We're completely different than that. We found that that does not work. But there may be ways to develop a new story that the child will find interesting enough to entertain and sometimes change his mind.
Mm. The news story will help him or her or them really integrate what happened to them. That's why contradicting would be hard, because then there'd be resistance. But
And contradicting does not produce coherence, and that's what we're after. We're not just trying to get the child to be better behaved. We're trying to get the child interested in a different version of his story. And we can't just straighten him out. We've got to find another way into that, what is really right brain activity, that very emotion laden activity of around the story of me when I was little.
And these 6 stories that you're going to share with us, plus the prologue of how you got involved in all this so long ago, these stories will help illuminate some of that, yes?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah. Well, it's a rare opportunity to be with you live, and a chance to ask you questions, and to be with a community that really yearns for and is especially appreciative of your approach. So I really invite people to come and be a part of this course. We have lots of payment plans and opportunities for discounts. Just trying to spend as much time with you these days as we can, Michael. So are there any other things you want people to know about this special Baby Whisperer course?
No, just that I'm looking forward to it very much, and I hope others bring their most empathic and their most curious selves to the course, because I want this to be not at all a lecture event. I want this to be an event in which we really try to consider new ways of thinking about how we all turn out to be who we are.
Yeah, great. Good. All right. Well, then this will be coming up in our online school. It will start June 30th, and it will be in the afternoons, Eastern time. And I'll be sharing more. But if you could go to our website, ppncenter.com, you'll have access to the online school, and you'll be able to see more about the Baby Whisperer, which the work of Michael Trout. Thank you.